Hello and welcome back to Explain USA. Today we're diving deep into a moment that brought the Middle East to the very edge of a massive, all-out war. And believe me, this isn't just about one single attack. Oh no, it's about this incredibly complex dance of secret pacts, very public threats, and a history that runs so deep it almost dragged the entire world into the conflict. So let's get right into it.
So, where does it all kick off? Well, it begins, as these things so often do, with fire and smoke. We're on day 39 of an already tense regional conflict, and things are about to get a whole lot worse.
Okay, so here's the spark. A petrochemical plant in Al Jubail, right in Saudi Arabia, gets attacked. And the fallout from this? It's not local. The consequences just instantly ripple out across the globe, pushing tensions right up to the breaking point. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You have to look at the target itself. This wasn't just some random facility. Nope. The Al Jubail complex is like a backbone of the Saudi economy. But, and this is the crucial part, it's also a joint venture. The US oil giant ExxonMobil, they hold a massive 50% share. So you see, this attack wasn't just aimed at Saudi Arabia. It was a direct hit on billions of dollars of shared American interests. And here's the thing, this did not come out of the blue. Not at all. The attack happened only after Iran put out a very public, very clear warning. You see, their own facilities have been targeted, and they basically telegraphed their punch. They said, okay, if you hit us, we're going to retaliate by hitting companies with shared American investment. This was a totally calculated tit-for-tat response. So as tensions just skyrocket, all eyes suddenly turn to Pakistan. And man, what a tough spot to be in. The country is basically walking a tightrope. On one side, they're bound by a defense pact to their ally, Saudi Arabia. But on the other side, they share a huge border and a really complex history with their neighbor, Iran. Talk about being caught between a rock and a hard place.
Okay, so in the aftermath, Pakistan's military leadership puts out an official, formal statement. But here's a key lesson in diplomacy. Sometimes what you don't say is way more important than what you do.
And that statement, wow, it was like a masterclass in diplomatic gymnastics. It condemned the attack, sure. It praised Saudi Arabia for its restraint. But the biggest tell, the most important part, is what they left out. They never ever named Iran. That wasn't an accident. It was a huge, deliberate signal saying, look, we are not getting dragged any deeper into this fight.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Pakistan's leadership basically drew a very clear line in the sand. They had to clarify exactly what their agreement with Saudi Arabia was. They said, look, we have a defense pact. That means if you get attacked, we will help defend you. But what they don't have is a war pact. And that means they are not obligated to join Saudi Arabia in an offensive war.
That distinction, that became Pakistan's official red line. Their position was crystal clear. We will defend our ally, yes, but we will absolutely never ever allow our land to be used as a launchpad for an attack on our neighbor, Iran. Full stop.
Okay, so let's shift gears now. Let's move from the regional players to the global stage, because this is where the conflict blows up from carefully worded statements into direct, world-shaking threats. And then President Trump gets on social media and drops this absolutely shocking, unprecedented threat. And get this, it wasn't a warning to a government, it wasn't a threat against a military, no, it was a threat against an entire civilization. But think about that for a second. Can you even bomb a civilization? I mean, this threat really highlights a huge misunderstanding of what a civilization even is. It's not just buildings you can knock down. It's memory, it's identity, history, language. And history shows us over and over again, civilizations are incredibly resilient. They often outlast and even absorb the empires that try to conquer them.
So all of this diplomatic maneuvering, it all comes to a head at the UN Security Council. A resolution gets proposed to authorize a naval force in the Strait of Hormuz. Right away, China and Russia are like, nope, and they veto it. But watch Pakistan's move here. It's brilliant. They abstain. By not even supporting what was being called a defensive buildup, they were doubling down. They were screaming their neutrality from the rooftops.
You know, to really get why all this is happening, the threats, the posturing, we have to zoom out a bit. We've got to look at a much longer history. One where war has been, well, a pretty consistent tool in American foreign policy.
I mean, if you look back, from the very beginning of the country, the United States has used warfare to get what it wants strategically. This is not some new thing. It's a pattern that's been repeated so often. Conflict is almost baked into the country's DNA when it comes to foreign policy.
And that history really helps explain why the default button so often seems to be military action instead of diplomacy. It's a structural pattern, and it's something that frankly worries a lot of American strategists too. It's what's led to these repeated cycles of conflict, from the Gulf War all the way up to the crisis we're talking about right now.
Okay, so we've talked about history and politics. But what's the actual real-world cost when these threats and historical habits turn into actual fighting? Let's take a look at the price tag.
Get ready for this. $1.1 billion. That's what financial analysts say it would cost to replace just one early warning radar system. Just one piece of critical hardware gone.
And it doesn't stop there. $700 million. That's the price tag to replace a single AWACS surveillance plane, another incredibly valuable piece of tech that was reportedly destroyed.
And the list just keeps going and going. Every drone, every jet, every radar system. We're talking hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars just vaporized. The financial cost of modern war is it's absolutely staggering. But here's the thing, while one side is adding up the cost in billions of dollars, a very, very different kind of cost is being calculated over in Iran. And this one isn't about money. It's about a powerful, deeply personal human resolve.
14 million. That is the reported number of Iranian citizens who signed up to be human shields. Think about that. Volunteering to literally form human chains around power plants and infrastructure to protect it with their own bodies.
And so this all leaves us with a really big, sobering question, doesn't it? You have this stark contrast, the mind-boggling financial cost of destruction on one side and the incredible human cost of defense on the other. It really gets to the heart of what modern war is all about. It forces us to ask, in a conflict where you have advanced hardware pitted against pure human resolve, who truly pays the ultimate price? If you like informative videos like this one, make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!